Okay, hello everybody. I want to talk about deductive reasoning today. And there's two laws of deductive reasoning, and one is called the Law of Detachment, which is on the first page of your notes. And the second one is called the Law of Syllogism. And these laws are important and how we use them in order to make deductive reasoning. So I want to talk about the very first law, Law of Detachment. And this is the Law of Detachment. It says if P implies Q is true and P is true, then Q is true. And right now this sounds like it's talking in mathese. So let's split this up and talk about that you have two parts of this condition. The first part is that you have a conditional statement. So we're going to write this right here. If P, then Q. And then the second part is you have a detached statement, one single statement all by itself. This is the detached statement. What you have to ask yourself is, do these statements match? If those statements match, then your conclusion is going to be Q. And if so, Q is the answer. Q is the conclusion. If they don't match, then it's not possible to make a conclusion. Okay, let me give you a couple of examples. Example number one says a gardener knows that if it rains, this statement right here is our P statement. Then the garden will be watered. This right here this is our Q statement. Then they give you a statement just sticking right out there, one sentence right here. It is raining. This is the detached statement. What you have to ask yourself is, does this statement match the P statement? That's what you have to ask. Does it match? Does it is raining match it rains? The answer is yes, it does. It matches. This is a P statement. So because it matches, I'm just going to cross them out. And what my answer is left, that is the answer, that is my conclusion. So the answer is the garden will be watered. I could add the gardener knows that the garden will be watered. So I'm going to write a gardener knows that the garden will be watered. That's the conclusion. Okay, let's do another example. Example 2. It's a math example. For the given statements, what can you conclude? Here's what's given. If angle A is acute, the measure of angle A is less than 90. Here's the detached statement. Angle A is acute. So this is my P statement. This is my Q statement. And this is the detached statement. You have to ask yourself, does the detached statement match the P statement? Angle A is acute, angle A is acute. Yes, they match. I'm going to cross them off. What's left is my conclusion, my answer. So the answer is the measure of angle A is less than 90. And I'm done. Okay, last example for this section. Does the following argument illustrate the law of detachment? Okay, you're given, if you make a field goal in basketball, I'm going to circle that. That is my P statement. Then you score 2 points. This is my Q statement. Jenna scored 2 points in basketball. This is the detached statement. Their conclusion is Jenna made a field goal. And the question wants to know, is this following the law of detachment? So to answer the question, you have to ask yourself, does this detached statement, Jenna scored 2 points, match this P statement, you make a field goal? Well, the words, you make a field goal, does not match you scored 2 points in basketball. As a matter of fact, these two statements match. You scored 2 points, Jenna scored 2 points. This is actually a Q statement. So because the P statements don't match, you cannot make this conclusion. So this is no. The P statements do not match. So no conclusion is possible. And those are examples of using the law of detachment. Okay, let's talk about one more law. It's called the law of syllogism. And it says this: if P implies Q and Q implies R are true statements, then P implies R is also a true statement. I call this the bridge. And what the bridge is the two matching statements. What I mean by that is this right here. P implies Q and Q implies R. The Q statement is matching. There's two of them that match, Q and Q. And because they match, they link. You can drive over the bridge and connect P to the R, which is why P implies R is going to be the answer. So I'm going to show you that, demonstrate that in this example 4. It says, use the law of syllogism to draw a conclusion from the following true statements. If a quadrilateral is a square, then it, and by the way, the word it refers to the quadrilateral. So then the quadrilateral contains 4 right angles. If a quadrilateral contains 4 right angles, then it, again, this pronoun, then it, the quadrilateral, is a rectangle. Now, I have 2 matching statements, and on this video, they're colored. The 2 matching statements is it, the quadrilateral, contains 4 right angles, and a quadrilateral contains 4 right angles. Because these match, I'm going to cross them out. And when I cross them out, I'm going to be left with an if-then statement. So here's the if part, and here's the then. And I have to write that sentence down. So I write, if a quadrilateral is a square, then it is a rectangle. And that is my conclusion from this sentence. So basically you find the 2 matching statements and cross them out, and what's left over is your new if-then statement. Okay, we're going to put it together. In our last final example, we're going to use both laws at the exact same time. Both laws at the same time. It says use the laws of detachment and syllogism to draw a possible conclusion. And here's the sentence. If the circus is in town, then there are tents at the fairground. If there are tents at the fairground, then Paul is working as a night watchman. And then we have this detached statement. The circus is in town. Now this obviously is detached. It is not an if-then statement. So let's go back to our if-then statements and first use the law of syllogism, the one we just learned, to try to make a single statement. It says, if the circus is in town, then there are tents at the fairground. If there are tents at the fairground. I see right away I have two statements that match. I'm going to cross them out. There are tents at the fairground. Matches. There are tents at the fairground. When I cross those out, I'm left with a new sentence. The new sentence is, if the circus is in town, my P statement, then Paul is working as a night watchman. My Q statement. Now don't forget, you have to ask yourself, does this detached statement right here match the P or the Q? The circus is in town. The circus is in town. This matches my P statement. So I'm going to cross off my P statements, and what I have left is my answer. Paul is working as a night watchman. And that's it for my conclusion. Okay, folks, this is how you work section 2.3 using deductive reasoning. And we have a homework assignment in class that I hope is completed. The answers for this homework assignment are posted on the website. So you have a good night. Bye.